अन्नाद् भवन्ति भूतानि पर्जन्यादन्न संभवः यज्ञाद् भवति पर्जन्यो यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवम् कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि ब्रह्माक्षर समुद्भवम् तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्मा नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्.
Annad. Annad means from food. Bhavanti comes forth. From food comes what? Bhutani, beings. And food, anna, sambhavaha, is produced from parjanya. Parjanya is rain. And then yajna, from yajna, bhavati comes forth, parjanyo, rain. And yajna, samudbhavaha, is born from karma, action. So from food comes forth beings, and food is produced from rain. From yajna or sacrifice arises rain, and yajna is born from action or karma. So a beautiful cosmic chain that Bhagavan is beginning to establish. So he says that all of us, all beings come from food, are born from food. How is that? Fairly simple, right? Today we know the food that our parents eat, that transforms into the seed which leads to our body inside our mother's belly, right? So that is how the food becomes who we are today. And we beings, we also survive on food. We need food. Not only do we come from food, we also live by food. And then this food, it comes from rain. If it stops raining, water in our planet will go away. And water in our planet goes away, that means there is going to be no food, which means there's going to be no beings. So the food comes from rain. Rains come from yajna or sacrifice. There is a common misconception that yajna means fire ritual, where you light a fire and you pour oil or ghee into it, and the smoke from that goes and forms clouds. And when lots of people are doing yajna, those clouds then lead to rain. That is a fairly common misconception. That's not true. Yajna here clearly implies the 5 yajnas, 5 sacrifices. That is what leads to rain, which is essentially the Deva yajna, the Pitru yajna, the Brahma yajna, the Manushya yajna, and the Bhuta yajna. And where does yajna come from? Yajna comes from karma or action, following the duty. Duty towards what? Duty towards Deva, duty towards Pitru, duty towards Brahma, duty towards Manushya, and duty towards Bhuta. All 5 of them. That is where the yajna comes from. And all of this contributes to this cosmic order. And it is an extremely well-maintained cosmic order. And this is the cosmic order that provides sustenance, growth, and prosperity. All these, even minimal sustenance, growth, and prosperity, all of this comes from that. When any of the elements in this are not performed, then there is a problem. For example, when karma is not performed, there is no rain. And what happens when there is no rain? It leads to either a parched earth and scarcity of water. Or there is too much rain. That leads to floods, like we are witnessing in Mumbai now. Either it is too much, where nature is coming forth to us in much, much more quantity than we need, or it just constricts and we are parched of what we need from nature. And what we are facing in the form of corona is a form of this destabilization. The spirit of yajna also implies humility. When we have some kind of, as human beings, we have some kind of an influence or we achieve something, the humility that comes from it or needs to go with it is also covered under the spirit of yajna. For example, when you are climbing mountains in the Himalayas, one way to look at it is like, some of us, we went on this trek to Rupin Pass. It's a pretty tall peak, above almost 16,000 feet above sea level. And some of us had this attitude of I scaled Rupin Pass. You know, it's like man says, I conquered Everest. We conquered Everest. When we were on the top of Rupin Pass, there was this helper, you know, who was one of the staff, and he prostrated, and we were all looking at him. He prostrated, he prayed, and he said, I thank Mother Earth for allowing me, for enabling me to set my foot in this pious land on her peak. See the difference in attitude. It is not a conquest. So even when you scale peaks, when you have this humility, that is Yajna spirit. So continuing, Bhagavan says, Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi. Vidhi. Vidhi means please know, understand, Arjuna, please understand. Understand what that action, karma, which is also the knowledge to perform action. How do you perform action? How do we do various things? We talked about it, right? The Karma Kanda section of the Vedas beautifully lists out every single step and every single action that humankind can perform. All the action, it's elaborate and it is comprehensive. So karma comes from Brahmodbhavam. Bhavati Brahma comes from Brahma, the vast Vedas. So Brahma also implies vast, and Vedas is also a name for Brahma. Or Brahma is also a name for Vedas. So karma, which comes from the knowledge of performance, comes from the Vedas. And Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. And the Brahma itself, that comes from Akshara. Akshara means imperishable. Kshara is something that can be destroyed. Akshara is something which is indestructible, Avinashi. So when we are speaking of Vedas, as per our tradition, there is no author of Vedas, not even the Brahman, not even God. Vedas came as the wisdom contained in the Vedas manifested as a part and parcel of creation. And Brahman, the creator, Brahma, the creator, reveals the Vedas at every creation. So what has Bhagavan done in these 1.5 verses, the last 1.5 verses? Bhagavan has revealed a beautiful causal chain that establishes this cosmic order. What is this causal chain? Beings come from food. Food comes from rain. Rain comes from yajna or sacrifice. Yajna comes from karma. Karma comes from Veda. And Veda comes from Brahman. Here I used 3 English words and 4 Sanskrit words. So beings, bhuta, food is anna, and rain is parjanya. So that's the beings from food, food from rain, rain from sacrifice, sacrifice from action, action from the scriptures, the Vedas, and Vedas from the creator or the indestructible. Any one link in this chain is broken, then beings will not be there. We will not be there. That is an awareness that all of us need to have. Possibly it may not happen in our lifetime, but it will definitely happen in our subsequent lifetimes, which is our children or grandchildren or beyond that. Any one link is broken, beings will not be there. And there are 2 critical components in this chain. They are one, yajna or sacrifice, which is the spirit of cooperative endeavor, and karma or action, which is performance of duty. These are almost in the middle of that chain. Now, all creatures of creation, they are driven by instinct. Human beings, on the contrary, are driven by will. This will helps us make choices. And the break in this cosmic chain happens only and only when a human being is involved. A break does not happen when any other creature, even in today's world, no other creature crosses this break. The break is happening only when human beings are involved. So do we as human beings want to be responsible for the destruction of this cosmic order? That is a question which is extremely relevant that Srimad Bhagavad Gita is presenting to us today. That is why the relevance of Bhagavad Gita at any point in time in humanity, at any time, at any century. Today, it is starkly standing in front of us. Do we as human beings do we want to take this crest, to take this title of being the destroyer of this cosmic order? That's for us to answer. And now Bhagavan says, Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma. Therefore, Arjuna, the all-pervading Brahman, Nityam Yagya Pratishtitam, is ever established in Yagya. Even the Brahman. So in the first 1.5 verses, he presented this cosmic chain. And then he says that even the Brahman is ever established in sacrifice, in performance of duty, in Yagya. By saying that, he implies, oh human being, so much depends on you. Recognize your power. Even when the all-pervading Brahman, if that all-pervading Brahman is ever focused in the spirit of Yagya, then you as a human being, what excuse do you have to not have that spirit of Yagya?